Welcome again with me, Paul Pancaran Sistem Orang on ITIL 4. This is the key concept. Learning objective we will cover in this module include rescaling ITIL 4 service management terms, summarizing key concept of creating value with services, and summarizing key concept of service relationship. We will cover a series of terms and concepts in this module. Don't be intimidated by the number of terms that you see on the screen. We'll cover all of them in depth. Some of you are probably familiar with, but they are all about common sense. Some of terms will be new and some of them you used in the past. You must not use them in the model of ITIL 4, but we will definitely get you prepared in order to recall the terms for your career. The next few terms we will cover what it takes to manage each service. Specifically within a service management organization, we'll have services such as email, network services, print services, scanning services, cloud services. Well, they'll need to be managed. So what is service? Service is a means of enabling value to customer by providing a result that customer wants without the customer having to own it or manage all of the risk. So who own a service? Who manage risks around a service? Well, that's your job, the IT department. You are also referred to as service provider. Your job is to make sure the service that you are by the customer on a daily basis are up and running and available. You never want the service to be slow or down or to have a bottleneck. So that's why it's necessary to do something the ITIL refers to as service management. Service management is like a project management for IT. It's what your organization does specifically to keep your IT services up and running. It is a set of capability that enable value for customer in terms of services. Services are like your IT deliverables. Continuing on what the service management terms specifically, we are going to talk about utility and warranty. Both of these terms are needed to provide value to services that you plan to provide to your users and customers. The first thing you want to make sure that the service can provide as functionality. What's the goal? What's the purpose? Why is the service needed? ITIL refers to it fit for a purpose. Basically, what is the objective? What is the purpose of the service? The warranty side of the service is an assurance that service will continue to work regardless of condition. We call the fit for purpose or usefulness of service. So let's pretend that you are using a cell phone and mobile phone having two things going on. You have the service provider providing the capability or access to make a phone call. And then you have the physical product. What is the phone itself? Well, the functionality of the phone is what we call the purpose, the utility. But the condition around when the service will work is what we refer to as warranty. Whether there will be the condition to make service slow or many bottlenecks, or if you are on a train, if you are driving through trees, your mobile cellular service can be affected by the condition around it. So, both of these terms make up value in a service. You need both the purpose, the functionality, the utility, and the warranty that assure the service will work regardless of condition. Both of those need to be built and developed in every single service that you plan to provisions. The next three you may already be familiar with, but let's just talk about them in a general. The customer is the most important stakeholder in service management organization. This is the person who defines the requirements of service. They tell the service provider what they need the service to do for them. They also take responsibility for the outcome of the result when they use the service, because they have to accept that they are receiving the service a certain way. Sometimes you are have conversation with the customer and the service provider on how the service should perform. A user It's actually a person who has used the service, but they don't have the same voice that the customer does. So the customer has negotiation power what their needs are. They may be paying for service. The user basically just consume the service, but they don't have the same voice as a customer does. Yet a sponsor is a person within the organization that authorizes the budget for the service to be sold, consumed, and billed. We call the stakeholder a sponsor. So, what to happen when you are actually providing service to user that they may use a daily basis? Well, you have to remember 4 terms: VOCR, value, outcomes, cost, and risk. What the customer wants out of the service is outcome or result, and they want those outcomes to be achieved with the lowest cost possible. Cost is a resource of service, just like people are. Documents, managers, buildings, software, hardware, they are considered resources. And sometimes you need to negotiate with the customer what those resources are going to entail for the customer to receive those services. Well, your job as service provider is to reduce costs and to risk associated with delivering value in the form of services. You see, customers want to achieve their goals and their outcomes as least costly as possible with the least amount of risk. So, as the service provider or the IT department in providing IT services, your job is to manage costs, risk, and value and outcome, all for the sake of your customers. Thank you.